Alrighty, so let's go through a update on this. I'm building this for uh, to show you how this kind of works. And first of all, this is just a demo account. Um, we have the ability to do different accounts. So this is targeted on the ABM. I got two samples here. There's live ones as well, but I don't want to go through the anything live. So vRecruit is the concept here is about automation of recruitment. Um, so each project itself is just generally the purpose of the website and the description to go through about how it's defined. So it's nothing really like a single company might have multiple accounts. The account is really just directed at what the objective of the account is. So here we have these two items. So let's go through the features. So the idea is that with any kind of ABM or any B2B marketing is that quite often the B2B market is kind of tipped on its head and we're looking at the facilities of what to market, where the marketing should really come from the customer problem, the transformations, the solutions, the customer journey, well, the journey of the product and how that's going to lead to a transformation and how that's going to be justified emotionally and technically through an ROI kind of thing. So it's it's looking at those elements, but the very first stage is that your B2B solution is solving a customer problem. So this is based on using AI. So the AI is aware of what, in this case, how it defines a customer problem. Um, and you just simply talk to the AI. And the idea is that you're, as an executive, you're spending more time on telling the system about your business, telling the system about how you solve the business, doing that thinking work rather than doing the action work. So here we have a dialogue. This is me on the left, and this is the AI on the right. So what the AI is doing is we talk to the AI. So I've written hello and um, all the information, and the AI is just going through questions. So the AI is kind of playing devil advocate or a consultant. So it's asking me questions. I answer it. If it's not happy with the questions, it'll ask for refinements. It's asking for stats. It's asking for proof and information. So you can see here that it's gone through a fairly simple dialogue. Once I'm happy with it, there's the concept of make summary. So in the world of AI, there's this concept of compressing information so you don't exceed its ability. And make a summary is like, I'm executive at this point. What I've found that the conversation has discovered is true and sufficient, and I hit make a summary. And make a summary just puts a line in the ground. It basically removes that conversation, extracts it into a summary. In this case, it's a summary about what is the customer problem. So here it's provided industry, information, customer definition, core APIs, impacts of it, insufficiency in processes, marketing dynamics, operational stress, underlying causes, consequence and inactions, and conclusions. So it's even giving me recommendations in the conclusions what should be further explored as well. But it's a way of it's like a document that you would write in a marketing or a business plan, but this is a living document. So the idea is that it's going to that this is something an executive should be coming back every couple of weeks and going reviewing this, having new insights, getting customer feedback, and then starting to say, hey, I the inefficient process, I have discovered that this is an inefficiency, or you should be saying, okay, the this statement that I made about this number was not accurate. I have these new information, this referral, this benchmark, whatever. So you're not refining the content strategy, you're refining the customer problem profile strategy in the specific niche market that you've decided to choose. Um, so this is always the starting point is the customer problem. Here we have the ability for the AI to challenge. So the idea is it's going to look at assets and files that you have around the industry to perform agent searches and competitive and USP reviews. So once it has a customer problem, it's going to look at the perception of what that problem is relative to the competitors. So if you're in recruitment, it may look at solutions such as contracting or temporary staff or outsourcing as a competitor based on the type of recruitment you're doing. It may not necessarily just look at other recruitment within that domain. So it's looking at the perception of what is a competitor and how your USP is positioned against your competitor. And that's the design of the agents is just to be doing that research in the background. So stage one is what the hell is your business about in customer problems definitions. We move on to the next stage. So here we can talk about ICP, ideal customer profile. We could call this personas, but with the technology of artificial intelligence, we change the paradigm because personas was a way to cluster customers, which is still relevant, but is less relevant when it comes to communication because we can look at the personas as an ICP and we can look at customers more like individuals with artificial intelligence. So here we do something similar. We have a dialogue about what is our ICP, and it goes through this conversation. It creates a summary. At one point where I'm happy with what it's kind of concluded, I make the summary, and the AI generates a summary of what is the ICP. These two elements of customer problem and ICP become the foundation of research, the foundation of what information to discover, what a buyer's journey will be, and everything else. So it becomes the foundation of everything else that we're looking at um, in terms of how we're going to sell and prospect in the system. So once these are established, and they should be invested in, right? Like a high value person should be able to create a very, very detailed, high quality business and ICP. Next is that once these are created, we move on to the discovery process. So here we need to change our thinking, our paradigm thinking of how we work with the system. So before we're salespersons or whoever will be going off doing their research. Now this changes. This here, the AI looks at your customer problem, your ICP, and it performs its own research. So it's like, okay, based on those customer problems, those information, these are the companies that I've discovered. As I said, this is about automated recruitment, and these are the companies that I've discovered. And then it starts collecting the information. So here I have a combination of structured and unstructured information. So you can see all the different, it's got different IDs for references, Facebook's, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the different social media about these companies before we get into researching it. So this takes a lot of processing power. So right now it's manually researching, but the idea is that it's going to auto qualify and you can click on research and it'll start performing the research. Within the research, it's going to be looking at those media sources and other content and people to look at what to watch and trigger about those companies. So, let's just take Grapetree Medical Staffing. When I'm performing the research, it's going to start creating feeds. So feeds of news, feeds of stock price, feeds on individuals within the company to know what's happening with the company, know where its competitive position is, its needs are, what direction it's taking. So this is the foundation of that. So here we do nothing. I manually start the discovery, which is done, and I've already done some of the research to be able to do it. But there's no human action here. The agents are doing the searching, the agents are doing the finding, the agents are referring returning all the data for this, so we as humans don't need to do it, and scoring which is the best targets. So so after this discovered opportunities, we move into research. So the idea is research is one of the, especially with the ABM kind of mentality, is the main thinking because we want to get to a point of high customization. So we can come in and we can see it's done a series currently. It's picked up a series of different activities. So the agents have different resources that can find and is able to read those different resources. So it's got its own ability to do its own discovery. So first of all, we got the general information. This is similar, different social media and different contexts, size, field. So it's got this information. Next, it's looking at the people within the company. So it's extracting, in this case, 99 people, I guess potentially more, but it's identified 99 people here. And it's getting their contact details, their emails, their messages. Um, well, sorry, their contact details and some job titles and general information about the people. Next, it's additionally like it decides whether it needs to do this, but of course we're trying to scrape the website. So here it's scraped the primary website. It's picked up a JSON LD format, which is a job format, I believe, um, that requires a search term. So this is interesting because it's picking up metadata. It's got the different metadata about the business and it's profiling this information. So it's reading this information to extract it to start adding the compressed information. So this is raw text and it's going to convert this um, into something more meaningful for the system to use. Because obviously there's probably a lot of fluff in here about marketing and sales content rather than meaningful data about who they are, what they're doing. You know, what are they pushing? 25 years experience, 24-hour solutions, community, um, whatever it is, per diems, what is it that they're doing? So that information becomes an input to further research to analyze it. The next thing it's kind of doing is pulling in the news. So here we can get all the different news feeds about it. So we can see this is really about event information and background information. What happened? Who's reporting on it? What kind of media? And and what happened. So this is talking about labor laws and um, different articles, nursing homes change lawsuit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of legal stuff here, but obviously that's fortunately or unfortunately, it doesn't matter. Um, it's the customer problem that we're trying to match on. So is there synergy on the compliance? Is there synergy on different aspects of the news? So this is all just performed in the background and it's continually updated, and that's where our events come from. Events in news, events in website changes, and then we go on to the individual level. So we can go into the people research and let's just take let's take um let's take this person, general information, employee history. So we're starting to drill into these people and we're looking at different aspects of these people. So we're looking at let's see if I can find someone with some comments and posts. So we're starting to create the profile of what these people are talking about. So we're creating this personal profile on this person to understand who they are, what are they preaching. So the posts, what are they reacting to? So we're creating that deep incitement about, you know, where they are positioned. So having this information, their education, their associations, who they're associated to. So we pull out their social network influence as well, how they relate to people, especially in context to how they relate to me. So do we have friends in common? Do they have influencers in common? What is that association network? We can use that association network as a way to connect to our target or a way to communicate through that target to create comments and posts. So we're creating a collection from these details. We're creating what is their likely customer problem in terms of what we're selling in our account, what is their mentality in terms of their tone, their voice, their topic matters that they're interested in, and what is their experience, and who is an influencer or association within their network. So it's more than just the information; it's the analysis of the information relative to our campaign. And here we go into other stages. So we're looking at the primary stages and then secondary, which is the external influences, the trigger events on those individuals that we're looking at, and there's strategies about how to deal with those people. So the strategies are not defined on a company level, they're defined on an individual level. Is this person we should send messages to? Are they more fact-based? Are they storytellers? Are they more case studies? Based on the information that we have about each of those individuals, you know, how do we create the social proof? How to create the awareness for that individual for that purpose? So that is designed to there. I split out some of this strategy. So the strategies, ah, I split out some of these strategies into new sections. So I'm moving information around here and having different strategies. So we got a list of the ways or strategies, the ways to get to people. So we're matching different techniques. So we can look at how to create the chaining of strategies together. So you need a high level strategy when you're approaching an ABM concept, and then you need the individual strategies to get to that individual. So you kind of have those two levels of strategies, and you have strategies in the sense of the content and messaging and information, and then you have the methodology of the ways of how to get to those people. um so finding strategies is that high level strategy. And here we have a type of company awareness. I'm going to show you two company awarenesses because they're a little bit different to each other. Here we have a company awareness campaign which is targeted on uh, three different activities. So one is posting groups, which is trying to make group posts within common groups of people. And this is allowing the AI to kind of go into the groups and create a formulated group post which is relevant to the audience that we're looking at. We have comment post, which is the ability to perform comments. So not specifically about, because we're in the awareness stage, we want to create comments on audiences which are relevant. They could even be competitors. Um, so we're just trying to create that awareness. This is a general awareness campaign. So commenting to try to get people to respond, to see the brand, to see the name, and to react to what you're doing. And then we have the page posts as well, which is going to happen. And you'll notice is a little bit different to your standard comment post because we're always looking for the purpose and the system command, and we're trying to use searches and what groups are relevant. We always have a check. Is this group focused on XYZ industries? So you're trying to get quality over quantity. You don't want to just rely on keywords. You want to rely on a verification. And then we're doing the post comment, which will then be customized based on the AI and the tone of the group to do it. Um, and that will automatically, the strongest one I found so far was the comments, commenting on people's posts, which will lead to people checking out who you are, which seems to have a good response. Obviously, this is in addition to the standard DM, direct communications, and everything. Uh, where I'm looking at right now, I'm starting to reorganize it from the overall company strategy to an awareness campaign. Um, Let me just pause the video and fix this up. So the awareness here, we've broken it down into different types of awareness campaigns. So, currently I'm focusing on the four types of campaigns, which is one is the content strategy. The content strategy, as I said, feeds in all that information we've put together, and now we can talk to the agents. Builds out a content strategy. So this is the conversation component of the content strategy. And here is the actionable content strategy. So here we can see this one's created a content strategy across multiple media types, the blog and the LinkedIn. Um, in the blog, we're just doing a very basic HTML. The LinkedIn, CTA purpose is to educate, purpose is to drive engagement. Um, and it has the objectives as well. So drilling into this information and when to publish. So this is on the 20th and things like this. Um, but here is I'm using the newer models, the thinking models, so the results are more rationalized as a strategy. But the models are not final. So here we have the ability to QA these, so we can accept the action, or we can keep refining the action. So I need more. You know, I need at least 10 posts. I need to find the latest trends as well. So we can go ahead and send that communication to the system. The system takes a while because it's using different thinking models. It has access to Google search as well and Google results to be able to find references and to find other information in the process. It's not just like post and get a response straight away. It's only a few seconds to respond. Okay. So yeah, it takes a little time, but this is a good time, not bad time. So it's come together with its own new strategy, using as a top the best models out there. And you know, we could also add in things like, if you have certain best practices you want to follow, whatever, it can add those in as well. Just depends on it. All these content is pretty thin for a blog, but I mean that's what it's decided. You can change this and say make the blogs 1,000 characters. Well, let's say long form, long form. So we can say like long form is the best practice for what we want. Um, so let's just wait for it to create. And I think the thing is, what happens here? So it's taking certain topic matters. Here it's got it till March 11th, the sequence. But the idea is once this sequence is concluded. Oh, there we go. It's longer. Um, once this sequence is concluded, the idea is that we're not forgetting what it does. We still have that content. We're feeding back this content into the AI for the next content strategy. So it's a continual story of sequence. It doesn't finish, because it's got all the conversation and it knows what it's doing and it knows what was published or not published to try to refine the strategy. But here, yeah, we got the 10. So this is already approved, so this will automatically start posting on LinkedIn and on the blog straight away. Um, so there's no human involvement at this point. It's done. It's done. Um, in the back end, it'll go into LinkedIn. It'll create that post. It'll post it. Uh, it'll look at the other strategies. It's performing comments. It's looking at the groups, performing comments. If it's got the right people to connect with, or it's identified, it's going to do a more targeted search to either comment on people around our targeting or comment on them directly. And obviously, the direct messaging sequencing can occur as well. So starting to connect and send messages. But instead of having a static flow of information in the connect and message, it's going to be dynamic and keep changing the content based on that user profile, based on their posts, based on the company events, to make it as relevant as possible to that user. So that's the content strategy. Communication strategies is the awareness. So awareness is general information about the company, where strategy is about specific targets for the company. CTA strategies is about something like a webinar, a PDF you might write, an event or a document where we have something that we want to create an awareness about a CTA rather than a awareness about the company. And asset creation is more aligned with the development of those kind of things. So if we wanted to create a industry paper or a use case or something that's really in depth or a video campaign or something, so we wanted to create a final asset in which the strategy is going to convert into a CTA. So that would maybe a long form article in LinkedIn that we wanted to create where it's performing a lot of research, a lot of context. It's not something that's quick. It's something that it's quick for humans, but it's something that the AI can go off and perform a series of agent activities to achieve that asset. Um, yep, and that's kind of where it's at right now. And yeah, that's going to keep updating, but I thought I'll give you an overview of where it's at and how it's all working.